Hello and welcome to Shredder Zoo. Today we're taking a closer look at two prehistoric crocodiles, the Kaprosucus and the Sarcosucus. Let's start our talk with the Kaprosucus, as less is known about this late Cretaceous crocodile, as its remains consist of only a single nearly complete skull, found in 2009 by paleontologist Paul Sereno in Africa. Even though only one skull has ever been found, there is still a lot of information that can be taken from this discovery. The skull measured 507mm in length. From this, the body length was initially estimated at around 6 meters, that's around 20 foot. But crocodiles have a well-established relationship between the skull length and body length. So re-examining this skull and comparing it to other similar crocodiles, it's been re-estimated at around 3.3 meters, that's about 10.8 foot. It's the larger size that's been taken for the model used to represent the Kaprosucus here in Ark. The skull also gives us clues about its lifestyle and diet. First, let's take a look at the unique teeth of the Kaprosucus. These are what give the croc its name. Kaprosucus means boar crocodile, named after the 3 sets of large teeth that resemble the tusks of a boar. Teeth like this are not found in any other crocodile-like animal. These pairs of teeth are divided, 2 pairs to the top jaw, 1 pair to the lower. The jaws also have notches in the bone to allow the teeth to pass through. Without these notches, Kaprosucus would have its jaws permanently held open by its own teeth. The teeth themselves show a difference from the teeth of aquatic crocodiles, which are vaguely cone-shaped, curved towards the back of the mouth, and have flutes or ridges running down them. Kaprosucus, by contrast, had relatively straight, sharp-edged teeth. But the biggest clue about the lifestyle of the Kaprosucus comes from the position of the eyes. Crocodiles will have their eyes positioned on the top of the head pointing upwards. This is so they can remain submerged beneath the water with only their eyes above the surface, perfect for ambushing unwary animals while they are drinking at a watering hole. But the eyes of the Kaprosucus were forward-facing, giving it a measure of depth perception. But crucially, this indicates that the Kaprosucus was a terrestrial hunter, meaning it hunted on land. It's been speculated that the Kaprosucus filled the ecological niche that tigers fill today. This does mean that my positioning of the Kaprosucus here at the zoo in an aquatic environment is actually inaccurate and reflects their in-game habitat rather than their likely real-life territory. But what about the body of the Kaprosucus? I've explained how we can estimate the body size based on the size of the skull, but what about the legs? Reconstructions show the legs as being straight and positioned under the body, rather than the familiar crocodile leg position splayed out to the side. Well, the basis for this reconstruction is that as a terrestrial hunter, it would need to be fast on land, able to ambush or chase its prey, and while crocodiles can move fast over land for short distances, up to 11 miles per hour, it would be more economical to have its legs in a more traditional position for an active land-based predator. The snout of the Kaprosucus was also covered by a keratinous shield, which some paleontologists think may have provided some protection to the snout as the Kaprosucus rammed its prey before clamping down on it with its powerful bite. This may be the inspiration for the Capro's leaping attack here in Ark. Well, this brings us to the Sarcosucus. Living in Africa and South America during the early Cretaceous, the Sarcosucus is one of the largest crocodile-like reptiles to have ever lived. It was twice as big as the largest saltwater crocodiles today, at 11 to 12 meters long and weighing up to 8 tons. The first remains were discovered during several expeditions led by the French paleontologist Albert Félix de Lapparent, spanning from 1946 to 1959 in the Sahara. These remains were fragments of the skull, vertebrae, teeth and scutes. In 1964, an almost complete skull was found, but it was not until 1997 and 2000 that most of its anatomy became known to science, when an expedition led by Paul Sereno, who I mentioned earlier as the discoverer of the Kaprosucus, discovered 6 new specimens, including one with about half the skeleton intact and most of the spine. Although the Sarcosucus is sometimes referred to by its popular name of supercroc, it wasn't actually a crocodile. It's from a related group of crocodile-like reptiles, called Follodosauridae. As well as being bigger than any crocodiles today, it was also longer lived. Most crocodiles reach adult size in around 10 years, and in the wild have an average lifespan of around 30 to 40 years, although there are reports of crocodiles in captivity living over 100 years. Borsalino examined the growth rings found in the osteoderms of the Sarcosucus, and estimated that it took around 50 to 60 years to reach adult size. Whereas today's crocodiles grow large and then stop when they reach adulthood, Sarcosucus just kept getting bigger. It could be that the only limiting factor to how big it grew was when it could no longer sustain such a massive body with the available food supply. So what did it eat? The clues for this question lay in the jaws and teeth of Sarcosucus. While the animal was young, it had narrow jaws and relatively small teeth, and the tip of the upper jaw was also hooked down at the end, perfect for eating the large fish of the time. Another predator of the time period and location was Spinosaurus, who had a very crocodilian-like jaw, was also a fish eater. When the Sarcosucus grew larger, its jaws began to widen. It is entirely possible that it ate different prey species at different stages of its life. Some scientists speculate that it had a generalist diet similar to the Nile crocodile, and it may have supplemented its fish food with larger prey such as the hadrosaurs around at the time, or maybe even with juvenile spinosaurs. Although in 2014 an analysis of a biomechanical model of its skull suggested that Sarcosucus may not have been able to perform the death roll maneuver used by living crocodiles to dismember their prey. This suggests that if it did hunt big game, it probably did not dismember prey in the same fashion as modern crocodiles. It is possible that, just like modern crocodiles, Sarcosuchus may have left the water to scavenge the kills of other predators. Well, that brings us to the end of today's talk, and I want to thank you for watching to the end of the video. As always, I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned something new. If you did, please let me know by leaving a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Please check the video description for links to my Twitter, Facebook, Discord server and Patreon site. And I hope to see you next time back here at Shredder Zoo. Goodbye.